Hey everybody, Barry Kleiman. Back here this evening with the next in LinkedIn's 26 most asked interview questions. I believe we're up to number 16 or maybe 17. Lost track, frankly, but we'll do all 26 for sure. And hopefully, and I mean this not to demean what I'm trying to do, but really for your own understanding of what it is I'm trying to do. Hopefully, you start to see some repetitiveness in the way that I believe we all should approach the process. Again, as I've said often, we're all almost always interviewing. I'm interviewing right now with you. You're trying to decide if what I have to say could add any value to your life, if you just want to, or if you just want to swipe me off. Um, Interviews are conversations, not interrogations, certainly the best one. And some of these things, again, we're going through LinkedIn's 26 most asked questions. So you should really be expecting some of these. And there should be a formula for the way you approach it, not to be formulaic in robotic, I should say, but once again, you should be valuing your own time in these interviews, right? I mean, yes, you're trying to get a job, but is it this job? How do you know? Have enough self esteem and forward planning to find a place where you obviously are going to go and deliver, right? Jobs, work is work, but make sure you're working with purpose, at least to the best of your ability. Yes, we all want to get paid. Yes, we all want to make a lot of money and all that. But at the end of the day, you also want to try to find something that fits you. Otherwise, you'll be looking for another job in a week or a month or a year, right? Because you're not going to be happy. So keep coming back to that in all these questions, and I want to keep stressing it to you to um, have a high opinion, not grandiose, but realistic opinion of you and your own time, and think a lot about what it is you really want to take from these things, as opposed to just giving canned responses and sitting there with your fingers crossed, hoping you get the job. Um, again, Stephen Covey says most people try to spend their whole life trying to climb the ladder of success, only to find it's up against the wrong wall. The I guess dogma and my recommendations for the way to approach these things is very much rooted in the fact that I don't want you to put your ladder on the wrong wall. And if you utilize these interviews and be authentic with how you approach it and try to connect with people with authentic stories, you'll find the right people to work with. And if you don't, if you're trying to play people, you will get played. That's just the way it is. So the question today is one that, shoot, we've all thought about, or hopefully should think about. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Easy if you've thought about it. Easy answer if you've thought about it. If you haven't thought about it, I would just simply say shame on you, right? Life rarely goes according to plan, but there should be some plan and some purpose. I think I've said this before in one or two of these. The purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. And I know that sounds kind of cutesy, but it's still true. So think about what your purpose is. You could change. Mine certainly did in my own life. Um, but have some purpose as opposed to just waking up every day and slogging through the sludge. So this is a question that you should certainly think about for yourself and revisit it often for yourself, and then try to find the best way to explain it in the context of an interview. LinkedIn says this is maybe the 16th most asked question. I don't know. I'm not going to argue with LinkedIn, but I do know that I think 300,000 people wanted an answer to this. So it's a pretty popular question for people to look for an answer for. So again, I'm going to just say to you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Me personally, I would just say I want to be continually challenged. I want to find a role that can challenge me and continue to grow my relational capital, my intellectual capital, and keep me stimulated and interested in getting out of bed in the morning. Um, when I started my nonprofit, the Fifth Quarter Project, I just woke up one morning and said to my wife, "Bigger footprint." I couldn't be in recruiting anymore. Now, granted, I spent decades at it, but I just finally decided it was time to move on. Um, I knew I could do more, and I wanted to do more than just place a peg in one hole. I wanted to try to take what I knew and what the years have taught me and apply it in a larger footprint. That was me. But it took me a long time to get there. But I will just tell you that if you don't have a plan for yourself, someone else is going to have a plan for you. And if you try to jump around in this answer and not be authentic, either you're going to get lied to back or you're going to talk yourself into a job you really don't want. Ladder on wrong wall. So again, a couple of good ways to think about it, at least in my opinion, are maybe it's not a specific job, but it's continue to be challenged, continue to get increased responsibility, to continue to have an opportunity to have a bigger impact. I don't think anybody who you want to work for wants you to say, "Well, I just hope I can still have a job here and um, get a raise every once in a while." I can't imagine anybody who's somebody you want to work for wants to hear that answer. So again, think about it for yourself. This sort of question, I don't believe ever needs a specific title. And I just think that the way to approach something like this is to think about it for yourself and say, what do you want to be doing? Again, not necessarily a job, but continuing to grow, continued responsibility, continue to be able to expand who you are and what you're about and what you've come to learn in the world. I think that's a great answer, not just for the interview, of course, but for yourself, which, again, what I believe so much of this is about. Again, you have to add value, but you got to add value to the other side, but you sure have to add value to yourself first. So this is a question that I urge you to think about for yourself and then find a way to explain that to somebody on the other side in a way that it's a win for them as well. Win-win. Okay? I really hope this helps. Again, always questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to write to me and stay safe, everybody. Thanks.